What's up, everyone? Welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing Backrooms, directed and written by Kane Parsons. Now, this movie stars Chuyator Ejiofor as Clark. Um, Mark Duplass is also in it, and it's a great movie. I think this is one of the best movies of the year so far. I honestly do. So this is a sci-fi horror movie, directed by Kane Parsons. If you don't know who Kane Parsons is, he 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 started off on YouTube. He started off on YouTube, and he created a universe called the Backrooms universe, and this is his first feature film. Um and I really respect people that say they're gonna make something and then they make something because they're passionate about what they make, right? And Kane is one of those people. Like he he convinced the studio to give him the money to make this, and he made it, and it's incredible. It's really good. So, um, this movie this movie is a sci-fi horror movie, and it's called Backrooms, and it's incredible, man. This video will contain spoilers for the movie. So this movie focuses on two main characters. I would say there's two leads. Clark, played by Chuyator Ejiofor, and um and Mary. Clark owns a furniture store, but Clark has his issues. Clark is working through some of his issues, um and Mary's his therapist. So he goes to see Mary once a week, and you can tell that Clark is trying to get back to normal, right? He got kicked out of his house by his wife. He um and he doesn't know what he's doing. Like he wants to get his life back to normal, but he doesn't know how. So Mary is trying to help him with that. But while that's going on, like, Clark is also obsessed with his work, which is running the furniture store that he owns. And um Clark finds um finds a portal. I'm gonna call it a portal, or an entrance to um to a new dimension called the Backrooms. Now, once Clark finds this, he gets really curious and he starts to explore the new dimension. But then he starts to realize there's some alien aliens in this dimension that aren't very friendly. So when he escapes the back rooms, and then he tells his therapist about it, like, hey, I found a door that leads somewhere. Um and I'm telling the truth, I promise. I promise I'm telling the truth. His therapist doesn't believe him, so um he decides to go back to the back rooms and get proof that it's real. So then he enlists he enlists his employees at the furniture store, Kat and Bobby, to help him go around and film um the back rooms, to prove that it's real to his therapist and to prove that he's not crazy, right? So he decides to go um he he decides to go back into the back rooms with a camera crew. So um he continues, or the group continues to explore the back rooms. And when uh Clark finds this like staircase that goes down, and he doesn't know how far down it goes. So he sends Bobby to go and investigate the lower levels of the backrooms dimension, and he taught like Clark has this rope that is tied to Bobby's waist, and um he asks Robbie to go down there because Robbie has the camera, so he wants this all to be filmed. So again, people don't believe that Clark is crazy, right? But then Bobby gets down there, sorry. Once Bobby gets down there, then bad shit starts to happen. Then you see like you don't know what it is, but you see um uh Bobby getting chased. So he's like, pull me up, 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 pull me up. So they pull him up, and then uh and then you see you and then they get him out of the staircase. The thing chasing him was trying to catch him, right? They get him out of the staircase, or out of the steep staircase that he was in, and then but it's too late because Bobby gets taken by whatever is chasing him, an alien chasing him, and he then this alien decides to chase Kat and Clark. So Kat and Clark are running. Clark escapes the alien, but he can't find a way out of the back rooms. So then, sometime later, Mary decides to go looking for Clark. So she finds the entrance to the back rooms. She finds Clark, but there's something different about Clark. There's something there's something different about Clark. Like as I said, Clark has his challenges. Has his um challenges and stuff like that. But there's something different about Clark when Mary finds Clark. Clark um knocks out Mary and basically says, I'm not leaving here. This is the only place I feel normal. Right? And this is the only place I feel normal. And then she's like, I can help you, Clark. I can help you get better. And she basically unloads on Clark. Like, you want to know why your wife left you, Clark? You want to know um why she left you? It wasn't because you got drunk all the time and came home drunk. It wasn't because of that. It was because you could never blame yourself for anything that went wrong in your life. If it was um if it was if it was sorry guys, if it was you, um it it was your fault that your wife left. Um it was it was your fault that your business wasn't doing very well. And she basically unloads on that because Clark unloads on Clark because Clark basically kidnapped her. So then Clark kind of sees his error of his ways and is like, if you let me stay here, I'll let you go. So he lets Mary go, and an alien approaches Clark, and then you start to see why Clark was different when Mary found him in the back rooms, is because this alien thing kind of has control over Clark. So then, like this alien thing, like pulls Clark up to him and kills him, right? Kills Clark. So Mary's running and trying to find a way out of the back rooms, and she runs into people that are in other people that are in the back rooms, and then she she talks to this guy named Phil, and Phil is X-ray machine builder, right? And he's like, we like, but it, and he also explains to Mary that it's also my job to keep exploring wherever we are, this new dimension, right? To find a way out and to understand the new dimension more. And then, um, and then Clark, I mean, and then he's like, did you come in looking for this man? Phil tells Mary, did you come in, or asks Mary, did you come in looking for this man? He shows Mary a picture of Clark, and she's like, let me the fuck out of here and help me find a way out, right? And then, and then you kind of see like, and the ending of this movie kind of sets up a sequel, or really sets up a sequel, right? Because then you see Mary like stranded in the backrooms dimension, and she doesn't know how to get out, right? And that's how the movie ends. This movie is one of the best movies of the year so far, in my opinion. Again, I really respect people that say, I'm gonna make this thing, I'm gonna convince somebody and um put in time to make something that I'm passionate about. Again, Kane Parsons wrote this, and he also directed it. So I really respect that he did that, and I really look up to I really look up to YouTubers that um build their platforms and then say, hey, and then take it to a studio and say, hey, let me make this, and my audience will support it. And I knew nothing about backrooms before I watched this movie. I knew nothing about backrooms. I just knew that um, Kane Parsons directed it, and as you guys know, I've been a YouTuber for 5 years now, and I have goals of getting into the industry. I love to sing, I love to act, I love to produce music, I love to tell stories, I love to write stories and then tell those stories. I love to play characters, I love to do all that stuff. So I really look up to Kane and in what he did creating this movie, and this movie is one of the best movies of the year. Um and Kane Parsons has a bright future directing movies, man. Like some of the a lot of this movie is shot in first person camera, right? So a lot of this movie is shot in first person camera, right? And um and it really reminds me of Outlast, the video game. If you guys have the Outlast series of video games, if you guys remember, if you guys have ever played those games. It really reminds me of that. This movie is insanely good. Now, Chiwetel Ejiofor is a super underrated actor, in my opinion. He's super underrated. If you guys don't know the name, he plays Baron Mordo in the MCU. He played Scar in Lion King, the one with Beyonce and Donald Glover. He played Scar in that. He was the lead in 12 Years a Slave. He's done a lot of other uh really uh um re- really good movies as well. And he he's a super underrated actor, so I'm glad to see him in more things. And even though they killed him off, even though they killed Clark off, like I would say that Clark is one of the leads of this film because he's alive for most of the film. So yeah, for me, I loved this film. I think this is one of the best films of the year. The tension, so if you guys are wondering what type of horror movie this is sci-fi horror, but I would say it's more like atmospheric. Yes, there are aliens. Yes, there is action, but there's not a lot of action. Like the third act is where all the action is. So it's mainly the tension. It's mainly the tension and um um the atmosphere that that make you afraid in this movie. And then uh Chuliator Ejiofor's villain speech at the end, well, when he's kind of talking to Mary and is like, um this is why I want to stay here. His villain speech at the end, because they kind of make him a villain, but then they kind of redeem him afterwards, right? Um, because he's possessed by the alien thing, right? So, um, but his speech at the end, that's probably the most scariest part of this movie. Like, his screen presence is insanely good. Again, Chuliator Ejiofor is a super underrated actor, in my opinion, but he's great at what he does, and he's incredible at what he does. So yeah, in fact, for this movie he does it all in an American accent. Like, he truly embodies this Clark character that Kane Parsons created. He truly embodies that character. And yeah, so I loved this movie. I think this movie's great, and I strongly recommend it. And yeah, I would give this movie like a 9.5 or a 10 out of 10. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.